All right, guys, today we're gonna be shooting one of Benelli's best kept secrets, in my opinion. This is a fantastic shotgun, the Supernova. Let's get into it. Have a little bit of fun with the pump action from Benelli here. Okay, here we go. Yeehaw! Woo! All right. I missed Fast Freddy down there on the end. I don't know how I did that, but okay, welcome back everybody. Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. You guys know that we love our Benelli shotguns here on the channel. And you know, I was perusing around at one of the local shops here and I noticed they had a law enforcement Supernova on the rack, Comfort Tech stock, which I thought is a nice feature in these Benellis, as well as the standard 8-shot tube, well 7-shot tube. So this gun holds 7 plus 1, so 8 total on your capacity. And this is a full capacity, full function, ready to go Supernova. And this is technically in their law enforcement line. If you buy a civilian, notice the air quotes, civilian Supernova, it'll have a little neutered tube. It only holds like 4 or 5 shots, or, you know, less capacity. The pump guns are awesome. And you know, the cool thing about these shotguns, what I love so much about them, is that they come in at a really fair price point. These things can be had for south of 500 bucks. You know, when you think Benelli, you think the M4, the M3, the M2, you know, the M1 Super 90, you know, their auto loaders are really what made Benelli famous, especially in their combat shotguns. I love the M4, I love the M3, I love the M2, but the Supernova just never quite get the same amount of attention, you know, as the auto loading variants. And I think that's criminal. Now, granted, there are some major differences between the pump action shotguns and their semi-auto counterparts. The different series of Benelli shotguns use a variety of different recoil mechanisms that, you know, obviously the M4 being the apex of that you can add all the weight you want to an M4. You don't have to worry about it not cycling because of the way the gas system is designed. The pump action guns do have a little bit, I don't want to say cheaper construction or lesser quality, because at the end of the day, it's still a Benelli shotgun and it's still fantastic quality, but there are some things about this shotgun that are a little bit cheaper than their semi-auto counterparts. One is the way the receiver is designed. It uses a lot of polymer. From what I can tell, they use a stamped sheet metal type of housing that they inject the polymer around. That way your plugs in the top, they drill and tap down into metal, but it just appears to be essentially sheet metal, okay? So it's not super thick metal, but it does have a lot of you know, plastic on the outside, which is not really that big of a deal, but just something to consider for the price. The other kind of minor detriment I noticed is that the bolt mechanism, the bolt itself appears to be cast, which is not a problem as long as it's a good quality casting. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Many manufacturers use casting techniques, whether it's metal injection molding, what they call mimming, or investment cast, or, you know, literally like the old Ruger slides are cast, and then they, like the P90 slides would be cast, and then they surface grind them. And there's nothing wrong with cast. It's fine, it makes a functional part, but it's just a little cheaper than a machined part. And that's probably how they can keep the price on this shotgun a little bit lower. And there's plenty of polymer through and throughout. Okay, a couple of other things I want to mention about this shotgun as well. You do have a plastic trigger assembly and everything like that, which isn't a problem, but one thing about these shotguns is sort of the Achilles heel of this shotgun design. I talked to a few instructors that have ran these things here and there. And also, when I put a message out on Twitter that I had picked up this shotgun, some of you in the Twitter feed had mentioned to me that in some of the training classes you took, some people were running these Supernovas and the trigger pins were breaking in the housing, and the trigger groups would break after about 1,500 rounds. Now, I haven't ran this gun that much, so I don't know if it's gonna break or not, but that's just kind of like what I've heard from people. Listen guys, this is the freaking internet, okay? Believe what you hear on the internet with a grain of salt. But that's just something that some of my folks were telling me or whatever. I think these are fairly robust shotguns. You do have ghost ring sights as a factory option, which is nice. One thing on the Supernova that I did notice, I was doing some research and trying to find some accessories, like maybe a flashlight mount or some type of like maybe tactical fore end or something to that effect. And there's really not a heck of a lot of accessories for these shotguns. So kind of what you see is what you get. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, I did upgrade the sights on this particular gun. Now it's daytime, we can't really show that off, but I do have Trijicon night sights, not Trijicon. I think they're Meprolites. I have to look back at the invoice where I bought the sights, but on Big Daddy Unlimited, oddly enough, I found a set of night sights for this thing for like 59 barking dollars. So you can get night sights for the Supernova, which is cool. And then obviously you can put a flat top rail on this thing if you want to mount a red dot. But in terms of accessorizing, that's really about it. Now, the cool thing about the Supernova as well is if you look in Benelli's catalog, these things are actually offered in a ton of different cool configurations. They make an entry model that's like a little 14-inch you can get that's an SBS that's really cool. Also, there's a ton of different stocks you can get for these things. Collapsible stocks, they make like a weird kind of like over folder that kind of reminds me of like the old Spas 12, which is kind of cool. So there are some different stock options, but when I saw this particular gun at the shop, I saw the Comfort Tech stock, and I really like these stocks a lot because they are just so awesome to shoot. They take all the brunt force out of a 12 gauge for sure. And I've always wanted to do a video on these shotguns. I've seen them floating around and I thought, man, I mean, like for the price, how good could they be, right? I mean, are they okay? Are these things good? So I thought I would break one out and give it a try. And man, you know, so far I've really been digging this little shotgun. I mean, for the price, it's just a fantastic piece of gear. I really love it. And oddly enough, you would expect a Benelli to be $1,000 or more or something like that. But when I was comparing prices on like, let's just say the Remington 870s and the Mossberg, even the Mossberg 590A1, if you can find a 590A1, those guns are really hard to get right now. I noticed that those shotguns actually cost more than the Benelli. I was kind of shocked. And this gun has standard ghost ring sights as a stock option, adjustable windage, adjustable elevation. And you know, just a great little unit for an affordable price point, and you can get yourself in a Benelli. Now in this Supernova line, they also offer a bunch of field guns too, like 24, 26-inch, you know, camo duck guns and things like that, which I'm sure those are fantastic as well. And those also come in at a very fair price point. So I think it's a perfectly good little home defense unit, especially if it's just something you're gonna, you know, shoot from time to time, play around with it. Really cool little setup. Okay, so tell you what we're gonna do. This is the time in the show where we break out the bear in the box, the ammo that has the bear on the box. And I always consider this to be sort of my proof load. Okay, when I want to really see what a shotgun's made of, we feed it a diet of Brenneke Black Magics. And if you know anything about these shotgun shells, they are fantastic slugs. Up in Alaska, all of your DNR guys use these things to protect themselves against bears. And most of the guides up there that carry shotguns use the 1 3/8 ounce Brenneke Black Magic. So I'm gonna candy cane this thing up with 3 rounds, 3 slugs. I've got 3 watermelons, I have 3 different slugs, and let's see what each one does. We're gonna start out with a Brenneke anti-terror slug. So what we'll do, this is gonna be the last watermelon, will be the Brenneke anti-terror. The middle slug will be the Brenneke Special Forces Magnum. And then we'll start out, go ahead and get the party started right with a 1 3/8 ounce Black Magic high brass. This one's moving at 1,502 feet per second at the muzzle, and that is yielding at the muzzle 3,000 foot-pounds of energy. So this is like getting hit with, what, 7, 9 millimeters or something like that? So this is a lot of power going down range. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and candy cane our Black Magic. So it's Black Magic, Special Forces Magnum, and then lastly, our anti-terror slug. I'm gonna start out on the right and work my way to the left. So far right is our Black Magic, Special Forces Magnum in the middle, and anti-terror slug on the left, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna really be testing out this Comfort Tech stock, I have a feeling. We're gonna see how much comfort we really have here. I'm not expecting a lot in the way of comfort. Okay? It's got a bear on the box.
Bear on the box.
That's right. You put your bear in the box. You got a bear in the box. Sorry, I'm not Justin Timberlake. All right. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and shoot. Oh man, why do I do this? These shotgun slugs are freaking something to behold. All right, here we go. Ready, Chad? Now look, I'm gonna try to run all three. You're gonna try to get a slow-mo shot on all three? How long do I have?
8 seconds.
So I have 8 seconds to engage 3 targets.
Yep.
You got it. Ready? Ready. Oh no! All right, Special Forces. I was shot high on that middle one. Now look, I'm not splitting hairs here. I'm not. That Comfort Tech stock, it did help. The recoil pad on this gun is fantastic, and that Comfort Tech stock really does a great job. You know, that's not bad. Look, I have to say, out of all the times I have shot the Black Magic, that was probably one of the most pleasurable times I've ever shot it. I mean, that's a lot of lead going down range. I mean, that is a big black slug. It's heavy and long and full of power. It just, when you shoot this thing down range, you know something's going down range. I mean, it's a Black Magic. It's got Black Magic in the name, okay? So I'll tell you what, let's just finish off the Black Magics. And let's smack a few pieces of steel, shall we? See if we can put a crack in my steel. So I kid you not, one time we were shooting some groups on an 18 by 24 inch gong, one of our shoot steel gongs, like the one in the corner down there. And I kid you not, one of these freaking slugs cracked our gong. They're no joke, boys and girls. And here I was worrying about it, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just a sucker for punishment. I've got 4 of these black bastards. How about our plate that we couldn't knock over earlier? Let's go ahead and subject them to a Black Magic, shall we? Sit down. Sit down, take 2. Okay. How about one on the big gong back there and see if we can crack it? I'm gonna shoot it up towards the bolt and see if we can crack that gong. Okay. Dang thing shot right where it's looking. How about the little plate? I think I can hit it. Okay, I might have lied just a little bit. Those slugs do kick pretty hard. That Comfort Tech can only hold up for so long before Sir Isaac Newton starts to kind of give you the evil eye and kind of smirk at you a little bit. And I think that's what's occurring right now. Okay, it's safe to say that Brenneke slugs are amazing. I'm gonna save a few of these for some other videos. Things are kind of hard to get. All right, and just so you know, that first barrage of buckshot that we were shooting, some Federal Flight Control buckshot, some of my favorite buckshot. It's really good stuff. All right, we're gonna try some Winchester military buckshot. All right, that's these little ugly green cartridges here. Okay, let's try some more buckshot and take out some more of our steel. All right, I know I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry. I've had a lot of coffee today. Caffeine. It's a thing, y'all. When you get older, you know, and you get your coffee in you, and just, life is just grand with some coffee. I guess since we're shooting an Italian shotgun, I should have drank some espresso, but it's okay. All right. Boy, there ain't nothing more espresso than these freaking bastards. I can tell you that much right now. Okay, some military buckshot. We'll pattern a bit of this. Oh, I want to mention as well, the barrel on this gun appears to be just cylinder bore, no screw-in chokes. That's one more aspect that you can consider. in terms of the reasonable cost of these shotguns is by omitting the screw-in choke. That's probably one way they can keep the manufacturing process down on this shotgun. And I believe, obviously, for a gun in this price range, this is not going to be a cryogenically treated barrel like some of the other higher end, like the Vincies and the M4s and things like that. Just something to consider. Okay, Buckshot. Got a couple of sodas on the ground there. Let's have some fun. Pattern's good. That's about what I would reasonably expect out of a cylinder bore shotgun, especially with this particular load. I would say the accuracy, that's about what we come to expect out of the military Buckshot. At one point, I think that I purchased a metric ton of this stuff, and I kid you not, these 25 round boxes of military Buckshot, I think I paid $12 a box for 25 of them. And I bet I think I probably bought 5 cases of this stuff. And I'm finally getting to the end of it. This is like some of the last ammo that I have of this military Buckshot. And it's a shame because this is great Buckshot ammo for a reasonable amount of money. And I love how they blackened out the, the high brass section on there to, just kind of cut down on corrosion. And, you don't have to worry about light transmission and glare and things like that. So it's cool, and the olive drab case is kind of cool, kind of old school looking. All right, I've got a couple of these flight controls left. I have 2. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put a flight control, 2 flight control rounds on that D28 back there. We might shoot 1 on that and maybe pattern 1 low on the 18x24 and just see how it patterns out at range, because that flight control wad on this, this flight control is just an amazing piece of technology. It does a wonderful, wonderful job. We'll get a few more rounds out of this thing. I think y'all get the idea. And what a fantastic shotgun. I'm going to be curious about the long-term longevity of this shotgun, but we will keep shooting the crap out of it and maybe report back in some time after we put some more rounds out of it. Okay, 18x24 on the back. And look, we're going to hit the D28 first and then move back to further range. 2 rounds, okay? Not bad. Another testament to the flight control. Okay, 18x24, I'm gonna print it kind of down near the bottom. Let's see how it does. And that's a little under, I think about 45 yards away, maybe 50 on the top end. So this is kind of a long way for Buckshot, but let's see how that flight control does down there on that 18x24. Okay. Okay. Now that opened up a pretty good bit down there. It looks like the standoff distance for that flight control, about 30, 35 yards. And for Buckshot, that's pretty impressive groups, okay, especially just out of a standard cylinder bore. That's one of the big selling features of this particular load, is that it does pattern quite nicely even out of a cylinder bore. Guys, thanks for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. I know I always make some crude jokes when it comes to the barrel on the box, but you know what? It's just kind of become a running joke. We're just going to keep it going, and who knows? Maybe we get a chuckle out of some of my dad jokes. But have yourselves a great day. Thanks for watching. Don't ignore these Supernovas, okay? They're fantastic little guns. They represent a great value. And in many cases, I believe that they are criminally overlooked, okay? Have yourselves a great day. Many more videos on the way. We'll see you soon.